When we mention radiation, it often brings to mind frightening images of events like Chernobyl disaster and the dropping of atomic bombs. These incidents were indeed terrifying and had a lasting impact on the lives of many. However, it's important to realize that radiation is something we encounter in our daily lives as well. Various sources such as X-rays, mobile phones, the Earth's soil, and even sunlight emit radiation. In the following video, we will delve into the effects of radiation on the human body, explore the different types of radiation, and discuss whether there are ways to protect ourselves from its hazards. We will cover all these topics and more. But before we continue, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. What is radiation? Radiation refers to the energy emitted from a source and travels at the speed of light. It can be classified into two types, harmful and non-harmful, depending on its energy levels and sources, which can be natural or man-made. Although radiation itself is invisible, its effects can be felt in the form of heat or light. Harmful radiation is also known as ionizing radiation. It includes X-rays, gamma rays, ultraviolet radiation, and radon gas. When radioactive particles interact with the cells in your body, they alter the charge of the cells, rendering them highly unstable. This process is called ionization, hence the term ionizing radiation. The highly charged cells can then damage other healthy cells as they move through the body. They can destroy healthy tissues, RNA, and DNA, which is particularly concerning since DNA holds crucial information for the proper functioning of every cell. Once DNA is damaged, the affected cells may struggle to repair themselves after sustaining further damage. This DNA damage can potentially lead to a development of cancer and even death. However, not all types of radiation are harmful. Non-harmful radiation typically has lower energy levels and does not cause extensive damage to cells. On the other hand, exposure to harmful radiation can lead to a condition called acute radiation syndrome (ARS), which encompasses a range of symptoms resulting from high levels of radiation exposure. Radioactive elements have a particular affinity for rapidly multiplying organs in the body, such as hair, skin, reproductive organs, and bone marrow. Therefore, experiencing hair loss, inflamed skin patches, and impaired reproductive functions can be indicative of high radiation doses. When exposed to radiation, the body's ability to fight infections diminishes because the bone marrow fails to produce enough white blood cells to combat viruses and bacteria. Nausea, vomiting, and the presence of blood in the stool are also common signs of radiation exposure. The thyroid gland, located at the base of the neck and resembling a butterfly in shape, is particularly susceptible to radiation. It can absorb greater amount of radiation compared to the other parts of the body. Since the thyroid gland plays a vital role in regulating various functions through the production of thyroid hormones, any disruption in its function due to radiation can have significant consequences for the entire body. Additionally, radiation can also affect the nervous system and brain. In later stages of radiation exposure, symptoms such as memory loss, speech issues, unconsciousness, and seizures may occur. However, it's important to note that experiencing these severe effects requires a significant amount of radiation exposure. Scientists measure radiation in units called sieverts, while the actual absorbed radiation is measured in gray. For general safety, an exposure of 100 millisieverts per year is considered a safe dose for the average person. Professionals who work with ionizing radiation may have a recommended limit of 50 millisieverts to minimize their exposure risk. Now, let's talk about medical imaging. Computed tomography, CT scans, X-ray, and fluoroscopy all carry a potential risk of damaging DNA. However, these imaging techniques are essential in saving lives, and the benefits generally outweigh the associated risk when performed under careful supervision. To put things into perspective, a single chest X-ray typically emits 0.1 milliverts of radiation, while a chest CT scan delivers a higher dose of 7 sieverts. A mammogram exposes women to around 0.4 millisieverts, while a PET scan results in an exposure of approximately 25 millisieverts. A stomach X-ray exposes adults to 8 millisieverts of radiation, and dental X-rays require even lower exposure levels. If you have concerns regarding radiation exposure from this imaging test, it is advisable to discuss them with your healthcare provider. Medical professionals often take precautions by using barriers or shield to protect other organs that are not being imaged. For example, a lead apron or a thyroid lead collar can be used to minimize radiation exposure to these areas. It is also beneficial to maintain a record of your medical imaging history to avoid unnecessary repeat tests. Furthermore, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention provides information on various types of radiation encountered in everyday life and offers guidance on how to address them. Cell phones have become an integral part of our lives, with many carrying them in their pockets or keeping them by their bedside. However, concerns about the potential dangers of mobile phone radiation still persist. Cell phones use radio frequency RF radiation to transmit signals, which is the same type of radiation used in X-rays. Despite extensive research, scientists are still working to provide definitive answers regarding whether mobile phones can cause cancer. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has classified radiofrequency radiation as a possible human carcinogen, indicating that it has the potential to cause cancer in humans. Ongoing studies have found a correlation between cell phone usage and certain types of tumors can lead to hearing loss. Additionally, mobile phone use has been associated with headaches, memory issues, insomnia, and vision problems. To minimize potential risk, one can offer hands-free headset instead of holding the phone directly against the ear. This helps keep strong radiofrequency radiation away from the brain. Using speakerphone function is another alternative. It's important to note that if you have a pacemaker implanted in your heart, your cell phone can potentially interfere with its functioning. In such cases, it is advisable to consult with a healthcare provider for specific guidance. Scientists have determined that traveling from east to west within the United States would result in an exposure of approximately 0.035 millisieverts of cosmic radiation. This type of radiation is produced by the sun and other stars in space, but the amount is significantly lower than the radiation received from a single stomach X-ray. It's worth noting that the longer duration of flights in higher altitudes can potentially lead to increased radiation exposure. As a precaution, pregnant women are advised to avoid multiple air journeys. Before boarding a plane, there's a possibility of being exposed to radiation, although the amount is minimal. Airport security screening involves the use of body scanning units that emit low levels of radiation. The technology employed at the US airports currently utilizes low-energy non-ionizing radiation, which releases approximately 1,000 times less energy than a mobile phone. Smoking is responsible for claiming more lives in the United States that combine toll of alcohol, drugs, accidents, AIDS, suicide, and homicides. While it is widely known that cigarette smoking can cause cancer, there is a lesser-known aspect related to radioactive materials like polonium-210 and lead-210. These toxic substances present in cigarettes can harm both smokers and those exposed to secondhand smoke. Tobacco crops are often sprayed with high-phosphate fertilizers by farmers. Unfortunately, these fertilizers contain radioactive materials that settle on tobacco leaves. Even after tobacco is processed into cigarettes, these radioactive materials remain on the leaves. When smoked, the radiation from these materials possess a risk as it inhaled into the lungs along with the toxic substances in the cigarette smoke. Years of smoking lead to buildup of sticky tar-like substance in the airways of the lungs. This accumulation provides no escape for radioactive material. Several studies have shown that approximately 90% of lung cancer deaths in men and around 80% lung cancer deaths in women can be attributed to smoking. It's important to recognize that severe health risks associated with smoking and the potential harm caused by radioactive materials present in cigarettes. Quitting smoking or avoiding exposure to secondhand smoke can significantly reduce the likelihood of developing smoking-related illness, including lung cancer. And that's it! Thank you for watching this video. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.